Hey guys, welcome to another episode of NetSec Now. Today we're going to be doing a quick vid on input validation. We're going to also be using some manual manipulation, if you will, and we're also going to be using something called Tampered Data, which is a plugin for Firefox. I don't know if they have one for Chrome or not, but I know they definitely have one for Firefox. Okay, so basically, input validation is what we kind of touched upon on uh, injections, and when working with SQL injections and cross-site scripting and all that good stuff. Um, so basically, there used to be a huge problem, even on sites like Amazon, where crafty users, if you will, such as you and I, could change the price of items before they're actually put into a shopping cart by simply manipulating the URL parameters, right? So they didn't hard code anything in, they kind of posted and hung out everything all in the URL. And I'm going to show you a few examples of that today that I found while browsing around the internet and doing some crafty Google dorking, and we'll touch on that as well. So basically, I went ahead and I was just surfing around on Google, like I said, and I came across this weird old school looking site. And, I said, let me play around with the site and see what I can find in terms of, what's going on with it. It just kind of looks old and maybe it's got some outdated stuff on it. So I went ahead, it looks like it's got a shopping cart and you can buy some items on here. And so I just went to buy scarves. And of course, I tried my fancy old SQL injection on it, and it didn't really work, right? So they got that going for them. But there is another security flaw in this website, and I'll show you. So I'm going to go ahead, click buy scarves, and I'm just going to select this very first one here at the top. It says the price is $19.95. Well, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to pay 20 bucks for this fancy looking zebra scarf here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add this to the cart. And you can see now it's put here in the cart for $19.95 plus $6 shipping, and we don't want to pay that 20 bucks, right? So looking in the URL here, you can kind of see what I was talking about. They kind of hang it all out to dry, if you will. And you can see that there's a value in here that's called price, and of course it says $19.95, and then of course there's product, and it looks like there's some HTML characters in there for whatever reason. So we want to go ahead and change the price here. Let's say we only want to pay, I don't know, $1 for this fancy looking scarf. So once we make that change, we just want to go ahead and hit enter, refresh the page so it adds that item to the cart again. And now you can see we have the same exact listing, but we added one in here for $1. So we're going to go ahead and just zero out this quantity here to get rid of the original line item. And now we are paying $1 plus $6 shipping, and the total comes to $7 right down here. There was no parameter, unfortunately, to change the shipping inside that URL. And so, whatever, we just paid $7 a scarf and saved ourselves a ton of money. Well, that's great, but not for them. Sometimes, if you got a clerk there that's running this online store and processing orders or whatever, they may come across that and say, hey, $1 for this thing, that doesn't look right. But nevertheless, you see where I'm going with that. If it does pass by them and they don't notice it, guess what? You just got a scarf for $1. So I want to just briefly touch on using Google Dorks for a minute. Now, I've been asked a lot of questions about it, especially since our SQL injection video that we did and all that good stuff, XSS videos and everything else. It's pretty simple. There's quite a few. You can look them up on Google themselves or whatever search engine you're using. Just look up Google Dorks list and you'll find a ton of them. We showed you the one in the SQL injection videos of the in URL parameters to search for things that are in the URL. Well, today we're going to use something for in text. So let's say we found a shopping cart. We scroll down to the very bottom of the page and it says here, shopping cart by Mal's e-commerce. So we want to go ahead and find every single site that Google has indexed with that in the text. So the Google dork we'll be using is in text, and I'll show you how that's done. So basically you just fire up Google, and of course Google dorks will only work inside of Google, so keep that in mind. It will not work in Bing or any other search engines that you're using. So simply type in INTEXT, and you can see I've done this before, colon, and then no space, quote, and then the powered by vBulletin or powered by WordPress. In our case here, shopping cart by Mal's e-commerce. Close it up with a quote and go ahead and hit enter. And you'll see I've already tested a few of these websites here, and I'm going to show you the differences here. I did notice that in my testing, this e-commerce provider, creator, whatever, developer has updated their shopping cart to not allow you to change the parameters physically by manipulating the URL anymore. But I found a way around that, and I'll show you exactly how that works, and that's where tamper data comes into play. Okay, so basically, this last one here I know is still using the old version of the shopping cart. Unfortunately, the shopping cart tags at the bottom of the page didn't give us a version number. I just figured this out through trial and error. So basically, this is another store here. We're just going to go into their store. Looks like some sort of fancy beads. I'll just pick this top one here, and I'll pick the top one here. And you can see again it says price $4. I'm going to go ahead and click on order, and you can see I already did this here. But basically, when we go back and click order, we'll see we got them in there for $4. Now, of course, you got to look for the price parameter up in this URL, and that looks like it's going to be right here at $4. Well, we don't want to pay $4. That's ridiculous for some fancy little bedazzled whatever that these things are here. Well, anyway, we just go ahead and do the same thing, refresh, and you can see it came in as $1. I'll go ahead and zero these ones out here and refresh the page, and you can see that we're only paying $1 now for these fancy bedazzled beads or whatever they are. So again, that's how it works. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But I want to show you how their updated version is still vulnerable to the same attack, just not the same way. So we're going to go ahead and use tamper data. Let me just back all the way out of here. So let's go ahead and go up to this Sanda Baby Designs deal and click on their link, and you can see here they got some sort of baby supplies, I guess. Alright, so what we do here is we have a plugin, as I mentioned for tamper data. Sorry, I'm extremely tired. And then I'm just going to go to my tools menu and start up tamper data. And of course, I'm going to click start tamper. Now, the beautiful thing like this is it kind of works like the Z attack proxy in Kali Linux. Same idea, it's just basically between your interactions and that website. So anything that you're pressing, clicking, it's going to come up and ask you if you want to tamper with it or if you just want to forward it forward and hit submit. So I'll show you how that works in just a minute. So we have it running here, we got it started up. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually not going to start this just yet. Made a mistake here because I just don't want to have a ton of information to look through. So I'm going to go ahead and look through some of their baby blankets here, I guess, and I guess I'll pick this Happy Dot blanket here, $50 to $56. Good God, that's a lot of money for a baby blanket. So we are definitely not paying any of that, right? So we're going to go ahead and now start our tamper data. Man, I really just can't say it. All right, I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to start tamper, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Now it's going to ask me if I want to tamper, submit, or abort the request. Well, of course, since I'm pretty sure by clicking on what we just clicked on, it's going to send this to a cart. So I want to go ahead and click tamper. And you can see here it gives us some of our parameters that it's going to post. And it looks like there's nothing in there for us here. It gives us some cookie information, and we're just going to go ahead and click OK. It's going to ask us if we want to tamper again. We can just hit OK. And so now it looks like we're here at where we're actually going to place our order. So now, of course, you can put in a monogram or a thread color or any of this fancy doodad. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click order. And now I'm definitely going to click tamper. And look at that. We have a whole nother pane window here to the right of the actual parameters that it's posting to the shopping cart, right? So we're at that stage where it's actually making your order. It's processing your order. So if we look down the parameter name list here, we can see product and catalog and price. Well, if we went to change the price manually, we're not going to be able to change it, as I said. But you know what? Maybe it's a good idea to show you how to do that first here. Let's just go ahead and abort request. Let's just close this all out. Stop tamper, clear, close. I want to show you what I'm actually talking about here as to why you can't manually change it. So let's go ahead and click order. And then you can see up here, it doesn't say anything about a price. It just says discount PR equals 0, comma, and then a $50 price, which is of course the $50 price down here. Now if I try to change this price here to 51, let's say, and refresh, it doesn't actually change the value down here like it did in the other older version of this same shopping cart software. So here's where we come into tamper data. I'm actually going to just delete this and go back. Okay, so we're at our page here where we're going to go ahead and place our order. So we would go ahead and start up tamper data and hit start. At this point now we're going to go ahead and click order, and we're going to click tamper when it comes up. And again, looking through our post parameter names, we're going to find our price. And let's say that $50 for a baby blanket, way too much. Sorry, not paying it. I only want to pay 10. So we go ahead and choose that number to 10. If there was a tax rate in here, it looks like you could probably change that as well. And let's go ahead and click OK, and then submit to actually forward it over to the website. And let's take a look at our shopping cart now. Hey, wouldn't you know, it's 10 bucks. And it did charge us some tax, but I guess that tax rate is hard-coded into the website because all the options in tamper data was 0 for that. So basically, we can go ahead and go to payments here. I'm just going to go ahead and submit this. I'm not going to tamper with it anymore. We've already made our changes. And I'm going to go ahead and select my shipping. Click continue and just click submit if you want to just keep forwarding it. And of course you can see now we're at the actual shopping cart where we would fill out our name and information here. And of course the price is still $10. Supposedly a secure payment, isn't it? Funnily enough, we were able to change the price. All that good stuff came through. I guess at that point when we chose our shipping rate, if we were to tamper that as well, we could probably change the shipping rate. I really didn't go into it. So basically that's how it works, guys. So there's maybe 2 methods to doing different things, depending, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, 10. It depends on what your results you're getting are. So in our first case, we were able to manually manipulate that in the URL and change our price to $1. We could have changed it to $0. It really doesn't matter. They updated their shopping cart software and basically took away that availability for us to do that. But we were able to use another tool, tamper data, to actually get in there and change that price anyway. So that's just a quick tutorial here about input validation using a couple of different tools, checking for errors and making some price adjustments. Now I'm not going to say that this is going to work on every single shopping cart site. There's a lot of better ones out there. I don't know if it works against any kind of shopping carts that plug into like a PayPal payment page. I haven't actually tried it yet. Maybe that's something I will try at some point soon and let you guys know about that. Updates again, if you guys have been following us on Facebook and learnnetsec.com, checking out the blog and the forums and things like that, you would see that the reason why I haven't made a video in quite some time or really put out any kind of content is I've been very busy making some personal and professional life changes here. So now that most of that's set in stone, I could hopefully get back to cranking out some new fresh videos and content. So for those of you that stuck by, I do appreciate it. Trust me, without you guys, this project wouldn't make any sense to do. I would just be babbling by myself here. In other news, I want to stay on track with the web pen test series. I want to try to kind of make it structured like we did with the introduction to network security and pen testing auditing series that we did. I'm still trying to figure out the best structure as I'm learning the more advanced techniques of this stuff. The best structure to actually show you guys the beginner steps so we can step into some advanced stuff perhaps down the line. The other thing worth mentioning is I know that I haven't really been answering your comments on YouTube. The reason for that is ever since the Google Plus integration nightmare, it's really become kind of cumbersome and ridiculous to try to answer comments and questions and replies and all that stuff on the video. So what I suggest is if you have questions for me, or if you want some more information, check out the website. It's linked in the description, learnnetsec.com. Check out the community section, sign up for a free account. It's free, of course. You can also check us out on Facebook, where there's links in the description for that as well. Check us out there and on our website. And like I said, I'll do my best to try to respond to everybody at once. And hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thanks again. Stay tuned.